Have you ever stood in front of a room, your voice is shaking, your hands are trembling, and your mind goes completely empty, even though you know your material? By the way, I know that feeling because it happened to me. Years ago, I was invited to speak in front of 300 people. The host introduced me and everyone applauded. Yay! I walk on stage confidently and then I'm handed the mic. I had to speak? Nothing. My body shut down. Literally. My knees started to buckle. My hands were shaking. So much so that the microphone kept hitting my mouth. It was a sorry tale. I tried to speak, but no words came out. And here's the part I never wanted to say out loud because it was humiliating and humbling at the same time. The host, who had introduced me earlier before, had to come and walk me off the stage. That moment changed everything for me because I understood something that most people never get the privilege of learning. Your mind doesn't freeze, your body does. And until you learn how to train your nervous system, public speaking anxiety will always show up at the worst possible moment. Today, I'll show you the scientific fix that no one shows you so that you can speak with clarity, calmness, and of course, confidence. Public speaking anxiety is not a mindset problem. You can't positive think your way out of it. This isn't about confidence. No, it's not about willpower. No, it's not about imagining that your audience is naked. No, it's biology. And there are three systems in your physical body that decide without your permission whether you will speak with confidence or shut down under pressure. In this video, we're going to unpack those three systems and you see what's really happening inside you. And of course, you learn how to cooperate with your brain if you want to, instead of having your brain work against you. Now, let's break it down. The first system is your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the main switch in your body's calming system. It runs from your brain stem down to your throat, to your chest, and deep into your gut. And yes, it's literally connected to your voice, to your heart, and of course, to your stomach. That's why public speaking anxiety doesn't just mess with your thoughts. No, it hits your breathing, it hits your voice, it hits your heartbeat, and of course, it impacts your digestion. It's all connected, as you can imagine. Neuroscientist Dr. Stephen Porges calls the vagus nerve your body's safety switch. When your vagus nerve is activated, your body enters a state called rest and digest. That means your intelligence becomes accessible and your communication becomes clear. But when the vagus nerve is not activated, your body shifts into fight, flight, or freeze mode. You flip into survival mode, and that's when you freeze, or you fumble, or you go blank.
No matter how prepared or brilliant you are. I want you to see it this way. Activated vagus nerve, you are a genius and connected to your brilliance. Deactivated vagus nerve, you're a ferocious or frozen animal who can't access your intelligence. So what deactivates the vagus nerve? Because that's what we need to know now so that it doesn't happen to us. Perceived threat is one thing, not real danger, just anything that your brain interprets as unsafe. Too many eyes staring at you, your brain's thinking, wow. The pressure to perform, that's another reason. Overthinking every word, that's another reason. The fear of being judged, that's another reason. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a tiger in the wild coming at you or 300 people watching you. It just interprets the whole thing as poof, attack, shut down. And this is why on stage, present looks like this. Shaking hands, traveling voice. My name is Kunle. Blank mind, shallow breathing. I want to tell you tunnel vision, just staring in one direction, or speaking so fast because you're trying to make up for things, or sudden loss of your English fluency. Your body is trying to protect you by doing that. And it's not your fault. But your body trying to help you is ending up to silencing you. So the second thing is the cortisol, is the stress chemical that hijacks your brain. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. It's released when your brain senses a threat. It's part of your sympathetic nervous system, which is also known as your fight, your flight, or your free system. Thousands of years ago, it helped us to survive wild predators who were coming to eat us for lunch. But today, get triggered by modern predators, like being judged on stage or when you're put on the spot. When cortisol floods your system, it triggers a full body reaction. Your physical body starts to react. And here's how. Your heart rate spikes. Your physical muscles tighten ready for action. Your digestive system shuts down. Your breathing becomes shallow and blood rushes away from your brain. You literally lose access to your thinking brain, which is your prefrontal cortex. Your memory becomes unreliable and you default to muscle memory. But here's the thing. That's not a malfunction. That's survival. Because if you were in real danger, you wouldn't want to start thinking, should I use my left leg or my right leg first? No, you just want to run. Your body would take over. Your instincts would kick in. And that's the sympathetic system doing its job. So when you freeze on stage, it's not because you're weak. It's because your chemistry took over and your body chose survival over speaking. I guess you will understand. And the third system is a cognitive load. You see, cognitive load is what happens when your brain tries to juggle too many tasks at once. For example, your brain wants to remember your content. It wants to manage your slides. It wants to think in English. Your brain wants to control your hands. Your brain wants to read the slides. Your brain wants to read the audience. Your brain wants to monitor your voice. Now, each of these are doable on their own. But under pressure, trying to do all of them at once, boom, it just fries your brain. So that's literally cognitive overload. It's like trying to send a text message while you're riding a roller coaster. Truth is, you can do both, just not at the same time. When you do that at the same time, the stress level goes high and everything goes out the window. So when you put all that together, that's when you ramble, and when you forget your point, when you blank out, when you speed up, when you overuse filler words like sort of, what if. So this isn't incompetence. It's a capacity issue.
Here's the empowering truth. When all this happens, you're not experiencing a personal failure. You're experiencing an underactivated vagus nerve, a cortisol spike, and the brain carrying too much cognitive load. This is biology. It's not incompetence. If your biology can be triggered, then it can be trained. And this is where the method begins. So step one, I call it deep controlled breaths. This is the ritual I teach to executives across Europe, Africa, and UK before every high stakes communication moment. You cannot think your way out of public speaking anxiety. It's not going to happen. You must breathe your way out of it. When you breathe deeply into your diaphragm, your lungs expand, your diaphragm drops, and your ribcage opens up. This stimulates your vagus nerve and it sends a message to the brainstem. You're safe. There are no lions. And instantly, your cortisol drops. Tension reduces. Your memory returns. Your voice stabilizes. Your cognitive load decreases. And your system shifts into what we call rest and digest. What you want to keep in mind is that your deep breathing is a biological reset for your system. So think of it this way. Sympathetic is protection. Parasympathetic is performance. So your breath isn't a tip. It's a biological reset button. So step two, relax your jaw and your tongue. You see, tension in the jaw tells your brain that something's wrong. A tight jaw means danger to your brain, When you relax the jaw and your tongue, you're sending the opposite message. I'm safe. I'm in control. This is one of the fastest ways to interrupt a stress spiral in your system, and it helps you to reground your system again. Step 3 is expand your posture by 10%. No need to puff your chest up and say, look, I'm here, or go full alpha mode. No, just expand your posture slightly, about 10%. It's invisible to the audience, but it's powerful to your system. It creates vocal stability and it increases authority. And of course, it activates a calm presence for you. Research from Emikadi and others in embodied cognitions shows that expanding your body posture reduces cortisol and increases confidence. And that's what you want. Even if you only hold it for 2 minutes, try it out for yourself. Number 4, anchor your first line. This one is massive for cognitive load. You want to lock in your opening sentence. Know it cold by heart. Not the whole speech, just the first line. Why? Because in the first 10 seconds, your system is still on edge. If you have to think and speak, you risk overloading your brain. But when your first line is automatic, it's locked in, you free up your brain power to focus on delivery, not survival. And step number 5, once you step in, don't try to connect with everyone instantly. Pick one calm, receptive face and deliver your first line, your first sentence to them. When you do this, you're stabilizing your gaze and it's reducing the threat of perception in your brain, and it stops your eyes from triggering more anxiety. Here's a bonus tip. Have a transition toolbox. You see, transitions are what you use to move from one idea to the other. It's like a bridge that you use to travel from one point to the other. So when you finish one idea and you haven't mentally queued up the next, your brain panics. And then, of course, cortisol spikes and the downward spiral we're avoiding. So here are some examples of strong transitions you can put in your toolbox and carry with you from today. You can say, for example, what this means is, here is where most people go wrong. So how do we fix this? Or let me show you what I mean. These lines, they don't just move your talk forward. They keep your brain from stalling under pressure. So let's wrap this up. You remember how we started this? That day, many years ago, when I stood on stage in front of 300 people, my knees buckled, my voice shook so badly that the mic was bouncing off my mouth, and I froze. So frozen that the host had to come and collect me from the stage. This was humbling and embarrassing, to say the least. But that moment felt like a failure. I thought I wasn't cut out for this public speaking thing. I genuinely believe that maybe I'm not just good at public speaking. But now I know the truth. It wasn't confidence. It wasn't mindset. It was biology. My vagus nerve wasn't activated. My cortisol was spiking. My brain was overloaded. And because 300 people were staring at me, and I always walk away from public speaking forever, although I couldn't literally walk. But as the quote goes, never make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotion. That emotion wasn't the problem. The problem was that I didn't yet know how to regulate that emotion. Once I learned how to train my system, everything changed. Today, I teach top professionals and world-class organizations across Europe, Africa, and the UK how to reset their nervous system, how to speak with clarity, and lead under pressure. Mind you, that's not because I'm naturally gifted, as you now know, but it's because there's a system that I use to turn breakdown into control. And if I can go from that moment where I was carried off the stage to where I am now, to helping others speak in the world's most high stakes situation, you can do that too. Maybe not training people, but you can get to the space where you speak with clarity. So what can you do starting today? You don't need permission. You don't need a stage, and you definitely don't need to wait. You now have a science-backed, proven system that you can start using immediately. So use it, print it, practice it, and personalize it. Use it before your next meeting or your next pitch or your next presentation. This is not theory. This is nervous system training, and you can apply it on your own. Even if you never join a program or work with a coach, this method alone will help you perform better. But if you ever reach a point where you want personalized executive level coaching because you want to sharpen this even further, well, that's where the next step comes in. Join the Berlin Presentation Lab and learn how to reset your nervous system on demand, to speak with composure and clarity, and of course, to command any room that you step into, where you can communicate your ideas and give it the respect that it deserves. Visit presentationschool.com. You have lots of information there and lots of helpful resources that you can kick off with. And I'll see you soon. Until then, present with passion and keep your flag flying.